Two people who represent their community, they're part of their community, they love their community. None other than the local mayor, Jenny Hill, who is up for re-election in the next couple of weeks. She's always been very kind to our show, and I do appreciate it very much, even if she disagrees with much of the start of it, which is fine. You're off the hook there. And of course, Kevin Herney is with the Rural Fire Service up here as well. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much. Lovely to see you again. It is part of life in tropical areas where things are going to come and go. It feels like you've got it down, practiced pretty well. But how do locals not get tired of it?
So the key in all of this is making sure that you don't cry wolf. So, like we met, for example, during this event, we met at 7 a.m. one morning because if the Weather Bureau had said to us, oh, we're going to get a storm surge of 3 metres, we would have had to evacuate anything up to 10,000 people from our beachfront.
Wow.
So we leave it to the last possible moment. We had everything prepared. We had the evacuation plans prepared, transport maps prepared, how we would work with the police and SES to get everyone in and out. They came to us and said, look, we've changed our storm tide alert. It's only going to be 0.6 of a metre. We pumped it into the formula, didn't have to move anyone. So the community knows that if we put an alert out, we mean it. We're not just going to say, you've got to evacuate, you've got to do this because we're not prepared.
Yeah.
We do it because we know exactly what the best data is, and that means we've got to move people.
Well, and it's that thing, Kevin, too, where when you've got volunteers, some that have been around for a while, some that have just joined, it's a pretty well-oiled machine that responds to things, doesn't it?
It is, and it's the elder volunteers have got to lead by example, be prepared. But we, for this latest blow, we prepared 4 days before, telling everyone that, you know, get your food, get your medicines, get your water, fuel up your generators, make sure that they go, which some of them didn't at the time,
yeah.
So out of service. But it's all to do with being prepared, and we're quite used to that.
Well, also, I mean, you've got to deal, obviously, with the streets of the CBD, suburban areas, but then there's a little further out. In fact, when we were at Billabong Sanctuary yesterday, having fun with the crocs and meerkats and all the rest of it, Cameron, who's their new general manager, he tells us what it was like for them in the clean-up. Have a look. This place was completely flattened.
Yes. Unfortunately, we really bared the brunt of the cyclone, had multiple trees down, branches down everywhere. You sort of walked in and thought a bomb had sort of gone off. Luckily, no structural damage was done to any of our enclosures, but the actual paths and that were unwalkable.
So as busy days goes, that's kind of up there, right?
Yeah, the recovery was a huge few days. But yeah, there was a lot of work to do, and we just put our head down and got it done.
See, and I loved, you know, all of his people, volunteers, mates, they all get together. I mean, this is the story of this community, is that it does get together, it does clean up. And again, there's going to be differences between this and 2 years ago and 5 years, all of that, right? Okay. But it does seem something that is very special about Townsville, and it must be an honour to represent, is that community that pulls together pretty quickly. They don't need permission from government to do it, but you do your best to try to coordinate.
We do. I mean, the reality is we need the community to be resilient. We can't do it ourselves. Government can't do everything. So we ask the community to help look after itself, and every individual has a responsibility to do that. Whether it's how you sandbag your home if you think you're going to need sandbagging, or after the event, you know, if, and Kevin knows, you know, making sure your gen sets are working.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here who've been through a lot who know you need some of those simple things because the power goes out, and you said it could go out for 2 days, it could go out for 2 weeks.
And then, Kevin, I always find this when anywhere place we've been after something like this happens, where, again, as Jenny was saying before about, you know, I'm going to cry wolf, and you don't want to tell people that, you know, the end of the world's coming when it's not. Yeah. But you also don't get credit for anything you prevent. You only sort of cop it for what you respond to, right? So you would prefer situations to be better prepared and bullets dodged than, OK, all hands on deck and let's flip this over. And it's a bit of a change in mindset, isn't it, too, where a lot of people, you know, they know how to respond, but they've got to put the effort into being ready too, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, as a community, Paul, as a community, they all pull together. The morning after the latest blow, Hillary, by 7 o'clock, myself and my off-sider was out in the field, taking photos, documenting problems, relaying straight back to council. And they were down that afternoon. The next day, Saturday morning, bingo, all the workmen were there.
Yeah.
You know, within 24 hours, they were there on the job.
It's good to see.
Cutting trees, cleaning up, looking after people. It's really a community effort.
Well, please thank all of the people who help, all the people who prepare, be it in their house or anywhere else. But also, Jenny, I've got to say too, as a frequent visitor to this city, it's a city that is complicated like everywhere else is. But I've got to say, I do love the types of new businesses that have popped up here, even sort of in a couple of years, right? Could be something from a different looking coffee shop to a different looking pub, but it feels like Townsville, again, we've been here at different times. It feels like it's always in the fight, but it seems like it's winning at the moment.
Yeah, we're getting some big businesses now sniffing around. We've got one on the hook that will set up a new industry here in our Lansdowne precinct. We've got a heap moving into the state development area. At the moment, we've got more jobs than we have people who can fill them who are listed as being unemployed, which is why I called on people to get off their rear ends.
Well, I was going to say, mate, one of the great quotes, get off your ass and come up here. I like it. We can say it. It's late enough. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kevin. Give them a round of applause. Good people. Thank you.